Welcome to the Excellence at Work podcast, where we explore the strategies and best practices that drive business success. I'm Rachel Cooke, COO of Brandon Hall Group and the host of our podcast, along with members of our executive team. In each episode, we'll dive into the latest trends, insights, and real-world examples from some of the most exciting leaders from organizations worldwide. Be part of our journey and learn from the best as we discuss innovative approaches and cutting-edge technologies for talent management, learning and development, leadership, diversity and inclusion, and more.
Hello and welcome back, listeners. We have Rachel Bolton and myself, Mike Cooke here. Thank you for watching. And Rachel, thank you for joining again.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here. It's been a little hectic around the Bolton house with back to school happening.
Don't remind me.
I am just over buying supplies. I have a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I don't know why either one of them needs a TI-85 scientific calculator.
We have stuff all over our house for just for Sophia, going back in the 7th grade now, Target bags, everything else. So I feel you.
You feel me. It's almost time, and that means summer is ending. So I'm excited to talk with you today about a couple of things. One is AI is still freaking people out, all right, and probably not for the reasons we think. So we'll unpack that a little bit. And plus, we'll be talking about today why organizations probably need a full-blown personality makeover every 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Seems interesting, right?
I think so.
All right. Well, go ahead.
So what happened this week for you? What's funny or surprising or human?
Well, surprisingly, I actually can say that at work, I know we're supposed to be after hours, but at work, this week has been a great week. We have had a lot of initiatives launch. We've had some big wins. So I'm kind of doing a little bit of a victory lap at Stanley Black & Decker. What about you?
You know, sometimes I feel like we have more initiatives than people. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, or maybe we're just a little bit overly ambitious, but I think I've got to figure out a better way to to manage it, frankly.
Cloning. I think cloning is next for you. That's what it sounds like.
I mean, maybe ChatGPT has that in their product roadmap. I'm a buyer.
My goodness, you need more hands, and I'm sure you're not alone, Mike. And I know you have a lot of great ideas. So hopefully by the end of the session, you'll get a chance to tell people what's coming up in terms of events or things that you're looking forward to at BHG. But I want to start us by talking about unpopular opinion. I know you like this segment.
Yes, I do.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Right. The first one I have to use is on AI, and unpopular opinion is, listen, people, AI is not going to take your job. Your unwillingness to adopt it will. What do you think?
I think that AI is going to take some jobs.
Okay.
And I also agree with you, though. I do agree that your unwillingness to adapt will. And I've already seen AI take jobs from folks at small businesses, larger businesses. I've seen them take the place of entry-level lawyers from friends that are chief financial officers of mine that have spoken. So I think it's a little bit of a balance. I still think there's an incredible opportunity, though, to use AI to be super creative and to help you, to think through things perhaps a little bit more clearer. So that's my unpopular opinion.
Unpopular truth.
But it's going to take jobs.
Yeah, that's the truth. Unpopular truth, right? That it is going to and has already taken some jobs. And I'm sure there's probably listeners who are like, hey, Rachel, wait a minute. That's not all the way true. So you're right. But there are so many people who are resistant to it right now, Mike, that I'm just worried if you don't start getting on board and figuring out how to use it as a productivity tool, it is going to sneak up on you. So fair enough. I'll take that. One more. The next unpopular opinion is that most organizations say they want innovation, but then they punish the people who actually try it. Your thoughts?
I have to almost agree with you on that one. I see it too much. We want people to be entrepreneurs in the workforce. Entrepreneurs they're risk takers. They've got to do it. I love having entrepreneurs. That's the culture that I want to have here at Brandon Hall Group is take a chance. What's wonderful about that is it's not your money, it's mine. Oh, you know what? You might as well go big. There are still some moonshots that are certainly out there. So I love that. I love that opinion piece, actually.
So you don't punish people who are innovative. You like the creativity that can come out.
When they make a $400,000 mistake. I can't get rid of them. That's a training budget.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, we would love to hear what your thoughts are on these unpopular opinions. You can agree with us, disagree with us. It's okay. But I want to now shift and just acknowledge that fear, resistance, and outdated practices are slowing down AI adoption. And if your organization needs or wants to be innovative, you're going to need to fold AI into that. And leaders are the ones who are going to lead the charge and flip the script on that. So I am challenging leaders out there to start pushing more courageous innovation. Besides, if you don't do it, who will? Right. And we're going to talk about this in a moment, how important innovation is for organizations. I want to start with the AI evolution. I know you have heard that word so many times, Mike, especially at the Institute, but it doesn't seem to be clicking with a lot of L&D departments. And I am part of learning and development and leadership and development, and I can acknowledge that. So I want to talk about why AI and L&D is a culture problem, not necessarily a tech problem, because I think it has to do with culture. Mike, what about you?
It's interesting because when you were preparing so well for this, you mentioned something in your notes, which is training isn't broken, your mindset is.
Yes.
So let's go back to the word mindset. Just yesterday, I had a call in the last 3 days, I've had a call with a chief learning officer, a chief people officer, and a chief human resource officer just this morning. And all three of them, without any prompting, mentioned mindset. That was a word.
Oh.
And the third time it was mentioned, I was like, I've been hearing this a lot from the last 2-3 weeks, just speaking to folks. And these are folks at the top of the food chain in an organization. So they're saying mindset is what they have to change. So it's kind of a cultural issue. And I think it is the mindset of and when you're trying to change the mindset of like, forget about 10 people, like 40,000 people, it's a massive change management issue. So I think that L&D leaders need to think more about change management, and you're not going to get everybody on board 100% of the time. But if you can just communicate about what your vision is and what you're doing, and this is where we're going, you can either get on the boat or get off. I think that has to be the approach right now, as unfair as that may sound.
Absolutely. You've got to share the why. You've got to be able to frame the vision so you can get that adoption, right? I'm going to share with you a stat that I found. It said 58% of L&D leaders cite skill gaps and adoption challenges, not the technology itself, as the core issue when it comes to upskilling. So it's not even the technology itself. It's literally just the skill gaps and the fact that people won't adopt it. So if it's a mindset thing, then it sounds like the people at the top of the food chain, as you call them, need to figure out how to help the workforce shift their mindset. Is that right?
That is very right.
Wonder how they do that.
Yeah. And one of the things that we talked about is, why are tools failing, even new tools failing, when the people aren't ready? And I look at myself for that. At our company, I can't even tell you how many technology platforms we have. It's too many to count. But I know we use one piece of project management software that, for whatever reason, I just don't like using it. Everybody else in my company uses it. I should probably use it and lead by example, but I don't want to. Just send me an email or text. I don't want to log in. I don't want to do two-factor authentication. I expect everybody else to use it, of course, which is very unfair. But I can get to you much quicker if we just I want to have somebody text me or email me or call me for a quick answer.
Yeah. It's
right. Instead of emailing me to remind me to log into the project management tool.
It takes longer. Yeah. I'll share this. A former life, past life, we use Monday.com, which is a wonderful, wonderful platform for the right organization and the right people. But I'm just like you. I'm like, I don't want to put everything in here. I just want to talk directly to the team and collaborate. Right. So you're right.
We use Monday too. I was trying not to say their name because they do.
Oh no, is it Monday? Oh no.
I think they're awesome. I love the company, love the stock. It is what it is. So
it's
I need to get better.
It's the truth. Hey, this is after hours. It doesn't count when we talk about it.
That's what they say.
It doesn't count. All right. Now, I also want to share about when it comes to culture, because you talked about that mindset. Well, some of it comes from leaders. And sometimes the word leader or leadership, some people equate that to already know enough. And that could not be further from the truth, right, Mike?
Absolutely. I mean, I think you have to I'm lucky that I'm a lifetime learner, and I also learn very well by, believe it or not, reading books.
Okay.
I love reading books.
Yeah.
going through leadership, but also I love seeing things that other folks don't see. So let me just give you a quick example. About a week ago, I was at a restaurant, and I always live my life off peak because I don't like to take a long lunch. So I go at 11 or 11:30 in the morning, and I'm out by 10, 12:15 the latest. An older gentleman came in. I don't know if he was all there or not. A little bit awkward. He sat, and they were like, "Oh, do you have anybody else that's sitting with you?" And he's like, "Oh no, I don't have any friends." And I don't think he was joking. But then I saw a server come up who's probably like 19, 20 years old, guy. And he came up and said, "Hey, my name's whatever. You can be my friend. Don't worry about it. I don't hang out either." And I looked at him. I was like, just thinking, some people just see him as a server, but I saw a leader. I saw somebody who I'm like, all right, let me watch this person over the next few months, because you never know when you're going to find a diamond in the rough. It just made my day better just seeing that interaction.
Wow, I love that. So he took it upon himself to, one, listen to what this customer was saying, but then also to follow through, which we know is a huge leadership.
It wasn't even his customer. So he wasn't doing it for the tip at all. And he did it with nobody watching, because I was the only one in the restaurant.
Well,
So I
that's
like that. And that's leadership. What are you doing when nobody's watching? That's character. That's your integrity.
That's the definition. Leadership is what you do when no one is watching, not just when everyone is looking. And for leaders at organizations like SBD, where I work, if you are not leading the charge when no one is looking, when it comes to AI, then how do you expect everyone to adopt it? I would like to share, and I think I shared this during our conference with you all last year when it comes to AI, but Stanley Black & Decker actually has its own internal AI platform called Chat SBD. And I joined the organization and saw it embedded into Teams. And I just thought, okay, that's cutting edge. That is innovative. And so they encourage employees to use this as a thought partner, or as we want it to be internal, so that obviously InfoSec and everybody else is probably glad that it's an internal LLM, large language model. But I just found that to be interesting, that our leadership, they decided that they wanted to be at the forefront of this, and they brought it in fully and have integrated it even into our Teams channel. So just an example of how great companies are using AI and hoping that their workforce adopts it. And if you are not doing it, you're going to be left behind. It may be something that some companies need to use to reinvent themselves, Mike, because this brings me to the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about today, which is that reinvention is a must, and that companies need to reinvent or reboot themselves every 3 years. Can you believe this? This came from a reinvention summit. I saw this on LinkedIn and on MSNBC earlier this month, but they called it the Titanic syndrome. And they said why companies sink when they ignore early signals. And one of the takeaways from the summit was that organizations need to intentionally reboot, revamp, remake themselves every 3 years. What do you think about that?
I just had a call today with like two really bright people. I won't name the company, but they're going through massive growth, incredible brand, very bright people. I was on with vice president of HR and also a chief human resource officer. And their question to me, and I may ask this question of you, Rachel, was, we have 74 different nationalities. We're going through tremendous growth, tremendous change. We have the next generation coming up, which are younger folks in their 30s and 40s. How do we bring them along? What are you thinking about for the next generation for leaders? And one of the things I know that you've talked to me about is you talk about, before you do a lot of this stuff, you got to come up with your leadership, I forget what you call it, leadership profile or
leader profile. Good job.
Profile. And I had mentioned that, actually. I stole from you, shamelessly, by the way. So I was thinking about that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask Rachel Bolton what her answer would be to that.
Ooh, well, I would say, yes, you do need to reinvent yourself every 3 years. And especially if you are a Fortune 2, Fortune 5 company, absolutely, it needs to be based on foundational principles. That's either values or a leader profile. Thank you for remembering that. Or what I also call leadership drivers, like what drives your business and how do you expect leaders to embody that, right? So I'm going to say yes. And I think this goes beyond organizations. I think this goes for individuals as well. I think, honestly, every 3 years, we need to think about our image, our goals, what we're hoping to achieve. And so if it's happening on a personal level, it should be happening at a company level. I definitely agree about this. Now, if your team has not evolved in 3 years, are you still relevant? If your company has not evolved in 3 years, are you still relevant, Mike?
No, you're not. And that's why I love talking to this organization today, is they're just very upfront and, honest. And you can tell they're, besides being bright, you can tell they're just generally good leaders and everything else. And I was like, I think that they're going to be fine, because I see everything that they're doing, just from the analyst perspective, and they may be at our conference. Love to introduce you.
Well, that'd be great. I'd love to know who is evolving, who is giving fresh ideas, who's not staying stuck. A former life in a leadership program that I was running at Westco when I met you, one of the things that we would talk about was not becoming a dinosaur in the tar pits, right? What happens to those extinct companies that are no longer around? And I asked the audience to tell me, what are some companies that were around when you were a kid and are no longer here? And they are the examples of companies or enterprises that did not evolve quickly enough. They weren't on the mark as quickly as they should have been, and therefore they're no longer here. And I miss Payless, Mike. I miss Payless. I miss Toys R Us. I miss Kodak in a way. Like, these are companies that were huge when I was coming up, and they're not here anymore. Even
Is there a cassette tape behind you?
Yes, that is. Yes. That's right. That's right. Right. So I will go to hot takes since it's time. I think you're excited about this portion. This is one of your favorites. I want to just toss a question to you, and just fresh off the top of your mind, what comes to mind? No edits, just no profanity. All right. So my first question is, Mike, what's one tool that you would ban from L&D forever?
Don't make me talk about project management software,
Oh,
but
yes, it's bad.
that's just my personal preference. You need to have project management software at the end of the day. But, if I could just have people talk and meet and go through things face to face, be a little bit more analog at times, I'd be okay. And I don't agree with being analog, but for, project management stuff, I like I still get the Wall Street Journal and the Barron's like in paper format. I don't know why. I've got to wean myself off of that soon.
That's funny. No, why? I say, let's challenge it. I say you keep that paper edition, okay? These are classics, right? How else are you going to cut out the letters and form, serial killer notes, right? You need the actual paper. No, I like that answer. Project management software. And if I had to guess for one that I would ban forever, oh my gosh, it'd be mandatory compliance training. I don't know. I know that we need compliance, Mike, hear me out. But like the way that it's done, it feels dismissive, obligatory. I don't know how many people are really absorbing it. It needs to shift. I wouldn't ban it forever, but something's got to change. That's all I'm going to say. Something's got to
make it a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, a little more exciting. We have for years. We haven't been innovative with this. I want to find all the compliance training companies out there, and I want to challenge you to reinvent or reboot yourself so that people like me can enjoy compliance training one day. And then the last one here. Would you rather be taught from an AI chatbot or a former boss? What do you think?
Boy, I've worked for some people well known. But, I would have to say, believe it or not, I would say that one CEO that worked the hottest, but I would like to learn from more than a chatbot, would be Adi Seidman, who was the CEO of a company called Oddcast, which was a technology company, all Israeli firm. I was one of the few non-Israelis, loved the culture. Now he's a CEO of a company called popcorn.co, which is an AI tool to create like scenes in movies just by typing in a prompt. And the reason for that is I just always found him so incredibly focused, intense, and just really just down to business. So I would say in that case, I would rather learn from Adi Seidman. I just spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, reconnected, but always just really appreciated my time there working with him in Manhattan, and just like his energy, just a good person.
Nice. So if you can pick the former boss, then yes, you would be more keen for learning from them. But if it's literally your last boss, what's your answer?
Well, it depends on who my last boss was, but can't be my board, right? No. And what I do use, we spoke about this before, I use AI not for therapy necessarily, but for coaching, and to figure out ways to give feedback better and to position things and business plans and, things like that. So what about you?
Oh man, I'm going to say definitely former boss. And literally from my last role. And my take on this, I know that AI is great and it has its advantages, but there's something about the human element that just cannot be replaced. A former leader knows you, they've seen you accomplish goals, they've seen you handle challenges, that kind of thing. So I definitely would rather learn from them than AI, but that doesn't mean AI doesn't have its place. And I wonder what everybody else thinks. Hopefully you are embracing both, right, Mike? There's a place for both. Is that what we're saying?
Yes, there is, absolutely. And you know what? I just think you can make yourself a better human if you leverage both. That's all I'm
Absolutely.
saying.
And I agree. And listen, I use it for some of my coaching too, in
Do you?
terms
Okay.
of, oh yeah, like creating session recap notes. So if I have a session and I'll just talk to what I call my virtual assistant. I don't even call it AI anymore. I'll talk to my virtual assistant. I'll say, let's create session recap notes. Here's what we discussed. Here's what next steps are. What can you come up with? And it is brilliant what it comes. It's way better than what I would have written on my own. And then I can tweak it and
Of course.
personalize it. But it's a great time savings tool.
Did
So
you name it yet?
oh yes, Gabe.
Gabe. I haven't named my AI assistant yet. I guess I need to come up with something good.
Gabriel is his official name. Okay. But
Okay.
I call him Gabe. And even my husband, he's like, ask Gabe. My poor kids, they probably think that's a real, he's a real person because of how much we talk about Gabe, but he is integral in our lives.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Well, thank you for participating in Hot Takes. I know fun, but also kind of slightly uncomfortable, just the way we like it. And
We love
we're
it.
coming up on time here. So just for some final thoughts as we wrap up here, I want to share with everyone, please remember that reinvention is necessary every 3 years at an enterprise level, but also don't forget on a individual level as well. And it's not about being flashy, it's about being ready. We don't want any of you to become a dinosaur in the tar pit. So please make sure you're ready to listen and shift and lead and grow, right, Mike?
Absolutely. And hopefully we can do another episode with you in a couple of weeks. I'm going away to Anna Maria on a short little vacation next week.
Nice.
So looking forward to it. We also have our Women in Leadership Summit coming in November. I think, Rachel, you're going to be there.
I am. I get the honor and privilege of being with Rachel Cooke again. So anytime I get to be with your lovely wife, I am excited about it. And yes, it's coming up in November. So more details to come about that. And thank you. I hope you enjoy Anna Maria. I know our listeners are going to miss us for a week, but that's okay. We'll be back. So please make sure that you subscribe wherever you are hearing this and share it with others. Mike, you said we had 100 impressions. Is that true? Is that
Yeah,
real?
we just started. That was last week. So like I told you, though, we have to add a 0 to that.
Oh, right. That's right.
Never
Okay.
be satisfied, Rachel.
Oh no, he's already put a stretch goal in front of me so help me, fans. Please make sure you share this with others, even if you're just watching us to make fun of us. It still counts as a view. So please share it. And we are excited to be talking with you all. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, like Mike said. And thank you for joining us on Excellence at Work After Hours.